Hi, I'm Gemma, and this is my trainer, Evil Steve. He's not evil, really. He's lovely, but he's evil in the gym. We wanted to do a Q&A for you guys because whenever we post videos, we get lots of messages and comments on Instagram. So we thought we'd put them all together and try and answer them as best we can. So what's the first question?
I'm surely going to try my best.
What's the first one?
So the first question is, many mums fear putting on weight while pregnant and how they're going to lose it after giving birth. In your experience when pregnant, with your experience being pregnant, what advice would you give to other mums?
I think every woman, every guy, I think every human being does fear putting on weight. Obviously when you're pregnant, for me personally, it wasn't a fear of putting on weight because of how I looked. It was a case of trying to maintain a level of health throughout pregnancy because it's my little baby that's growing. But it's inevitable, you are going to gain weight when you're pregnant because you're growing a human. So I think you have to try and get that fear switched to how lucky you are to be able to have a baby. And meals are like, it's fuel for your little one. It's kind of, people always used to say to me, oh, you're eating for two, you can eat what you like. And I was like, oh, I'm eating for me and a tiny little thing. There's not 11 stone people here.
That's such a common thing to say, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're eating for two.
But it's difficult because you have cravings and stuff, so you do want to eat more. But I was just mindful of whatever I did and ate. It was essentially Mia was happening too as well. So I think you have to switch it up and not a fear of piling on the weight, but just to kind of know you can get it off after if you put the graft in. That would be my advice.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, what are the biggest challenges you have faced as a mom?
The biggest challenges, I'd say, it's a fear of me of not being good enough for Mia. Kind of like mum guilt when I leave her, like, because we train twice a week.
Yeah.
So it's only like 45-minute sessions a week I'm with Steve, but I'm still thinking, oh gosh, is she okay? Even though she's with
it's the
family.
time of travelling to and from the gym as well.
Yeah. And it's kind of in a way made me want to train even better because I think any time away from her, I'm going to make it worthwhile. I'm not going to have time away from my daughter and not, put in the effort. I'm going to be like, right, I've got this 45 minutes, just graft.
Yeah.
But mum guilt, and I'd say criticism. Every new mum gets a lot of criticism from other mums I've found. And there is a lovely community where loads of mums support each other. But there's also the kind of, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you should breastfeed, you shouldn't breastfeed. And it's like, wow, as long as your baby's happy and healthy and you are, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
I would say that in my experience as well. I think using that phrase mum guilt is probably the biggest obstacle I've come across as a trainer. And also that is in, you feel like you have to listen to loads of different people. You don't actually know which one you should actually do because there's loads of different mums doing different things. You're like, okay, am I actually doing the right thing?
And it's dad guilt as well. Remember when you had your little boy, when you had Albie, and he came back into the gym for our session, you were like a wreck because you missed him.
Yeah. It's very real. We'll call that dad guilt then.
Yeah, parent guilt.
Parent guilt.
We all get it.
I think that's a pretty good answer actually. Okay, so next question is, what advice would you give to new mums who are struggling to get back into it and not feeling up to training or don't even know where to start?
I'd say to mums struggling, the starting point doesn't have to be anything extreme. I had a 6-week check at the doctor's and I waited 10 weeks before I actually did anything just because I didn't feel strong enough physically and I was tired, your hormones are all over. So I don't think you should put the pressure on yourself to say, 6 weeks check, I'm going to go and do it. Yeah. I started walking with the pram like 10 minutes around the block and that was enough. Yeah. And I slowly built my way up to half an hour. Yeah. It's kind of, I think a lot of people assume if you can't get into a gym, you can't do it. And you don't need to do it in the gym.
No.
You can do it at home. Even just, I remember when I once wanted to train at home, I just did a few jump squats. Nearly weed myself because I just had a baby, but that's normal. I just did 10 jump squats, waited for a minute, another 10, waited just to get my heart rate up.
Yeah, it's doing something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah, I've had this in the past as well with clients. It's kind of like, even do something like walk up and down the stairs at home for 5 minutes. Yeah. You can do that. Most people have the stairs at home. It's 5 minutes. It's instilling good habits. Yeah. straight after having a baby. It's just doing something that's positive, regardless of what it is. It's just, you're never going to start unless you actually just start doing something.
And it's things like, you don't even have to, like I did it in my pajamas some days.
Yeah.
Stayed in my pajamas and did a bit of exercise. It's not like you have to get ready and go to the gym so soon.
Yeah.
You can do it in your own time, in your own home, and do what's right for you. I wouldn't put pressure on yourself to kind of, like everyone said to me, oh, you'll snap back because you've trained. Not the case, wasn't the case, isn't the case. But, and because I waited so long, people were like, oh, 10 weeks and you've still not been in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, no.
People associate that. The people associate that with going to the gym as that's the gold standard. That's what you have to do immediately after a baby. But going for a walk would do.
Yeah, fresh air.
Yeah, that's enough. That's a good habit, which will lead on to another good habit, which will eventually lead to the gym when your body's actually ready to go back to the gym.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good advice. Do you want to read a question?
Yeah.
I think we are there.
Okay. How did you know you were ready to start training after your C-section? And how do you build up to getting back into it? The C-section was awful because it was an emergency one, so it was all quite rough. So I was very bruised and sore, and I read up on it. I did a lot of research, and it's 7 layers that they actually cut through to get the little baby out. So it's not a case of
intense.
Like a little quick keyhole surgery. It's a major operation. And I was walking like a T-Rex for about a month. And it was hard because I was feeding Mia at the time, so she was constantly on me. So again, even holding her, it was difficult. So I knew then I physically wasn't strong enough to come in the gym.
Yeah.
And it shocked me how much you use your core for everything.
Yeah.
Even opening the fridge, it was.
It's probably safe to say everything is ab training to a degree.
Absolutely, and I think you just have to listen to your own body. And the day I did go out for a walk with the pram, after 10 minutes I started aching. That's why I came home. And it's even if I've been on my feet all day, I can feel a little twinge in your
Yeah.
And everything's knitting back together. So you get I get like little electric shocks now and again. It's like, oh. And it's a little reminder that you've had surgery, chill a bit.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's different. I mean, I've had friends who've had a C-section, but theirs was a planned one. So it was nice and chilled and relaxed. And their recovery didn't seem to take as long. But I'm very conscious, the quicker you rush back into it, it can have effects long term.
Yeah.
Like when I had my mummy MOT, the lady said to me that she gets a lot of women who are now going through the change later on in life, the menopause, and because they didn't correct issues after having a baby, they're now struggling.
Yeah. Whether they should have taken it easier.
Yeah.
A lot earlier on.
It's long term. You want to. So I'm just say listen to your body, and you know when the time's.
Well, it's right. Like now, like you with your training now, is we're avoiding doing certain things just in case. Like no rotation based movements because obviously of your operation and even things overhead you have to be slightly careful of. Anything where you're doing standing. It's anything where your core is having to be either where your trunk is having to be rotated or stretched has got to be very careful at the moment. And
that's what's a little bit frustrating because, like, if I'm doing a shoulder press, physically I can do more from my shoulders, but I don't want to damage my core anymore. So we're having to adjust.
We just have to work around it, like feet up on a chest press, for example. I hate it, but you have to do it right now. It's
a must.
Right now, it's the best way of doing it.
This question says, how have we modified training to train safely? And it's things like that.
Yeah.
We're doing fewer reps, lighter weights.
A lot stricter on tempo.
Yeah, which still hurts. Don't make it easier for me.
A lot stricter on tempo. I would say no real rotation-based movements at the moment. Nothing too drastic overhead as well.
No prowlers.
There's no prowlers. There's no real anything to do with jumping either.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Not like we did that anyway, but it's something that we weren't going to include now.
It's kind of a nice little good excuse.
You're basically on a training holiday.
Yeah.
Right now is what I would like to call it.
My first session back was tough, and Evil Steve said to me, that was quite easy for your first one back. We went really easy on you, and I was like, no, you didn't. It was tough.
I can't wait for another 6 weeks, and we'll see then.
I'm slowly building it back up. Can you explain ab separation and what's the best advice? Can weights help to heal? I was told ab separation, it's basically when you're growing a baby, your abs kind of have to separate to accommodate the baby growing. And when you've had your baby, if you're lucky, they'll go back. If you're not, they'll stay. Mine have gone kind of like that. Last time I had my check, she said I had a 2 centimetre gap. And I was advised to avoid anything like crunches, planks, things like that. It was kind of working the core, the muscles behind the abs.
Yeah.
Deep ones.
Your body's natural corset, we'll call it that.
Yeah. A lot of people have messaged me saying I'm doing so many crunches, but that's kind of going against, because when you're crunching, it's not doing anything.
Yeah. You think about the main function of the abdominals is to keep the body stable. So you want to train it in that fashion. Do you know what I mean? So you don't want to put too much direct stress, given the C-section and stuff like that. So something like a lunge or even like a goblet squat is challenging your midsection in more of an indirect manner, as opposed to doing a leg raise or a crunch. So you're still training your midsection, but you're training your midsection for what it's actually designed to do, as it's to keep you more upright and stuff like that.
And it's funny because I still look like I've got a little bum bag, and it's where the abs are still separated. And I read some go back straight away. Some it takes 6-8 months.
Yeah.
Some it takes a lot longer. So it's one of those things. It's happened because I've had a baby. It's so in the grand scheme of things, if it doesn't go back all the way, I don't think
you're not going to be bothered.
No, not too bothered. Because I know it's not a case of, I've let myself go. I've got this bum bag. It's I grew a little human.
Yeah.
I mean, some things you have, and some women they get back in shape, but they have a wrinkly belly, and it's the skin, it's the wrinkles from where the skin's stretched. Again, it's normal in some cases, and you stretch marks, and you guys have got it lucky actually. You really have. How has the diet changed post-pregnancy compared to before? Well,
don't tell them about yesterday.
It was Halloween, so I had a bit of cake. No, my diet, I've always had a goodish diet, I think, haven't I?
Yeah.
Even before I was pregnant.
Yeah, you've always eat, as long as I've known you, you've always eaten healthy.
Yeah, I live by 80% what I need, 20% what I want. And I used to have a cheat day, which was just stupid. And I always think telling someone who's trying to lose weight to have a cheat day, to me, is like telling an alcoholic who's trying to recover to get drunk once a week. It's not going to benefit them.
Yeah.
And I always think one meal a week for me is enough. Like on a Friday night, I'll have a pizza.
Yeah.
Or if I'm going to the cinema, I'll have popcorn and pick and mix. But I don't use that whole day to go off the rails. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. How long ago would you say you stopped having cheat days?
Well, when we started training, I kind of, and
last year.
I like a little bit of 90% dark chocolate after my main meal at night. But again, it's not like because for that, it's too rich to eat the whole bar, but it's rich enough to satisfy the craving. It's a weird one.
The thing is, what you're doing that 80% of like really good stuff and 20% of what you want, it's sustainable. It's something you can do all of the time, which is what most people do. Even outside of being pregnant, is they have too much variation here. Then it's not consistent. They go absolute hardcore dieting. They'll go 100% all in on this diet that they just cannot sustain. Do you know what I mean? So something like that is more sustainable, because you can do that every day, because you get a little bit of what you like, which will keep you on track 80% of the time.
I hate diets. I said to Evil Steve when we first started training, I'm not going on a diet. It's got the word die in it. I said, I'll change my eating habits long term, and it's a lifestyle change, but I'm not going to be saying I'm cutting out carbs or I'm cutting out this, because especially for women, there's certain times of the month you physically need, you can't do it. And I know women who've, they've cut everything out apart from meat and veg. They've got in shape, but they've been absolutely exhausted. They've looked like they're ill. And then the minute they start having carbs again, it's like you say, they have all of them, and they go the opposite way.
Yeah.
So I think it's
and then the guilt kicks in, and then it's just a vicious cycle.
It's
just not
Steve's
sustainable.
Good with me, like when he tells me about foods I should be eating. You remember when we did the 12-week sweet potato, and I loved it. I used to put sweet potato in the air fryer, a bit of Cajun spices, and that for me, with some veg and chicken, was such, people think healthy food has to be boring, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
There's so many things you can do.
Yeah.
But I do like my once a week pizza, or chippy tea, or cheesecake. Just one.
That list went on and on and on then.
Okay, last 4 questions. What challenges have you come up against with diet since having a baby? Cravings, hunger, routine to prep? Yeah, it's more difficult to eat at certain times when you've got a newborn. Obviously, you'll know because the priorities shift, and it's not about, oh, it's been 2 hours, I need to eat. It's like, Mia's crying, she needs food, she needs this. Yeah. I have started cooking more in bulk.
You got to be more organised.
Yeah, I've had to be. And it's things like what's convenient, like oats with a bit of whey, or smoothies. I've been into smoothies a lot. Loads of frozen veg, frozen berries, and almond milk. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, it's easier for me to say because before I had Mia, I was always doing food prep anyway. It was just part of...
It's nothing new.
Yeah. But for some reason not done it,
it's habits. It's just, you've already had those habits, so it shouldn't be that difficult for you to just continue it on. For people who've never had those kind of habits or those kind of routines, it's quite difficult. We've just got to start somewhere. Everybody's like using what I just said a second ago. Everybody wants to just go all in and expect it to be perfect from day one, and it's just not sustainable. If you're eating 2 meals a day, people automatically assume, oh, I need to eat 6 meals a day because eating every 2 hours is better. Well, if you're only eating twice a day, if you're adding another 4 meals into your day is not better for you, because the likelihood of you sustaining that is not going to happen. No. So if you're only eating 2 meals per day, how about you just stick with 2 meals per day, but just make the foods that you're eating better. And then if you feel like adding in an extra meal, add 1 at a time instead of going, oh, I'm eating 2 now, I've got to eat 6.
And I think it's as well what the individual chooses, because I've had people say to me, yeah, it's easy for you, it's easier for, and it's like, well, no, it's I would love to choose a chocolate bar over a banana, but I know I want to feel my best. So looking at those 2 foods, the banana is going to make me feel better, not going to give me a sugar slump afterwards, and isn't going to contribute to weight gain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And you don't have to deal with me.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with Steve. So it's about what the individual wants. I mean, some days I would go for the chocolate bar, but it's not easy, I don't think, for anybody.
No.
Especially a new mum or a new dad, because like the dads have to go back to work.
Yeah.
So they're tired.
Mums as well are at home.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's convenience.
Yeah.
Because generally you can eat better if you're out and about, because it's probably, if you've not prepped and you've not got good food at home, and the cupboards are filled with chocolate, it's very convenient if you're busy looking after a little one to just grab a chocolate bar. So a lot of it at home is if mums are at home looking after the little one, it's about actually having good food in that you can snack on, like a banana instead of a chocolate bar, but most people would have more chocolate bars.
I think every mum should invest in a slow cooker.
Yeah.
And just whack it. Lentils, broccoli, loads of veg, bit of stock, chicken if you want, whatever, and just make a massive stew, and that'll last you at least 3 days. You can freeze it. And that's a good meal to snack on. Yeah. Bit of crusty bread with it would be nice. No. What advice would you give to any other mums who have had a newborn, who are sleep deprived, dealing with cravings, struggle to have time? I would say the best advice I was given, my mum said to me, everything, Gemma, from now on with Mia is a phase. When she's sleeping through the night, and you think, yes, I've cracked it, you've not, it's a phase.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, when she's not sleeping through the night and you think, oh my God, I can't cope, you will, because it's a phase.
Yeah.
And it's the same with how, like, when I had the section, 6 weeks after my operation, if someone would have said to me in 4 months, you'll be back with Evil Steve, feeling a lot better, looking physically better, I would have said, no, I won't, because I was crying, thinking, I don't feel like myself, I'm physically exhausted. But it was just a phase, and it does pass. Yeah.
I think my advice on something like that, in somebody in that situation, is deal with one thing at a time. Is, okay, if they wanted to get in better shape, it's, okay, you're right, you sleep deprived. Okay, fine, if you wake up one day and you're meant to train that day, and you're that tired, it's...
You can't do anything.
Just start thinking of things over a weekly period, instead of thinking, oh, if I don't train today, the week's lost. It's kind of like you can make up for it on a day when you feel better. So it's deal with one thing at a time instead of beating yourself up. Oh, I've not slept well today, it's coming up with excuses because it's normal. Just if I'm not feeling it today, I'll try it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
you
what
don't
I
have to
mean?
be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Because your hormones are all over the place anyway. I mean, the slightest thing can set you off.
Yeah.
And then again, it's the comparison. Like you think, I sometimes think to myself, I see women who have got a baby the same age as Mia, and they're doing all kinds of things, and they're back at work and they look fab and they're bossing it. And I'm like, some days I don't know whether I'm coming or going. And you think, am I doing it wrong? And it's, no one's doing it wrong. We're all just doing it as best as we can. And some days will be better than others, but like you say, it doesn't mean you don't have to throw the whole week off.
Yeah, yeah.
Write the whole week off because of one bad day.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're not feeling that day, doesn't mean that's going to be it forever.
Yeah.
It's just deal with it as it comes. Do you know what I mean? I think, like you now, you're only here twice a week. It doesn't really matter what 2 days of the week you train, as long as you train twice per week. It could be 2 days. It could be 2 days in a row. It could be 2 days at the other end of the week. It doesn't really matter because you've got so many other things going on.
Yeah.
What people associate with, oh no, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. When it doesn't really. Give yourself a little bit of a break. As long as you do what you need to do that week.
Then it's fine.
Start with, build good habits. It doesn't need to be perfect to start with, but you've got to start somewhere.
The last 12 weeks that I did with Steve at UP, I was in 4 times a week. And again, people have said, oh, how are you going to do it this time? Because technically I'm with you 90 minutes a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Weight training. The rest is on me at home.
It's a very long time. 90 minutes.
90 minutes, way. So it is, but again, it's like you say, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And I'd rather come in and do 2 sessions a week than do no sessions.
Yeah.
It's not as good as what I was doing before I had
but
Mia.
It's a start. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not doing too bad. I'm down 6. No, what am I down?
You 0.6 body fat since last measurement, which was 2 weeks ago.
0.6, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. And after having some cake yesterday as well.
Yeah. It was fruit cake though, so it did have a bit of fruit in. One of my 5 a day, cherries.
And you're only about 2.5 kilos off your transformation weight.
Yeah.
Which is not far at all.
It's funny because on the scales, I'm, like Steve said, I'm very close to what I was at the end of my last transformation, but I'm just softer everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm carrying fat in different places.
Yeah.
It used to be my hamstrings.
Which is not so bad now.
Now it's my
midsection.
bum bag.
Yeah, midsection, yeah, and triceps.
And me.
Yeah, them ones.
I can fly. Imagine if I just took off. Okay, last question. What is the one thing that new mums can do right now to take the first step back to fitness? I would say the first thing they need to do is believe that they can do it, because no one's going to do it for you. And I would say on days when you feel like you can, remember you've carried a baby for 9 months, you've birthed the baby, or you've had the baby out of you. That in itself makes you superhuman. And if you can go through that and you can do that, like people say it's hard. What's hard is being 8 months pregnant, walking up the stairs, waddling, carrying your washing with your swollen ankles, dashing to the toilet because you're going to be sick at every kind of scent or anything in the house. And you've got through that. So you can do 5 minutes up and down your stairs.
Easy. My advice on that is just do something that's positive.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Just do something. That'll lead on to another positive. I'll lead on to another positive. You've just got to start with something. It doesn't really matter what it is.
Even my sister, I remember my sister once said to me she was dead excited because she drank 2 litres of water in one day. And she never does that.
It's a win.
She never drinks enough water, my sister. She's always on fizzy pop. And I say to her, if you can stop drinking fizzy pop and change it to water. She was like, oh, really? And I said, yeah. And she did. And she lost weight just by doing that one simple switch. She still had 1 fizzy drink a day.
Yeah, 80%
was,
good,
yeah,
20% what she wants.
Water. And she texted me and she was like, you're never going to believe it. And she sent me a picture of a 2 litre bottle and she'd done it.
Yeah.
And that for her was her kind of tick point.
Yeah, it's just something, isn't it? Something that's minimal, but everybody expects they need to go out and hit a 2-hour gym session or 10K, but it doesn't need to start that way. You can probably end up there, but you don't need to start there.
No.
No
one
just
starts at the top of the game, do they?
No.
And I'm a big fan of the hair and the tortoise story. At the minute, I'm the tortoise. But thank you for your questions. And congrats to all the new mums out there, or mums to be. And just believe in yourself. Like I said, I never pictured myself doing this 4 months ago at all. But I am doing it slowly but surely. Not too much pressure. And Evil Steve's leading the way for me.